We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin. On today, Faith Acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is from Tillamook. It is the spicy Habanero Jack. Monterey Jack with habaneros and jalapenos. So I noticed that a few more cheeses are starting to get into the hotter peppers. And I find it kind of entertaining because capsaicin and cheese are sort of cross purposes. This one has habaneros fairly high in the mix though. So maybe we're going to get some hope here. I have done other ones. Spicy cheeses are just they're against it. It's up against it for sure. So this one is to pair it with lager, moscato, which is a nice sweet wine, strawberries, and chorizo. We're not going to be doing any of those in this video. Instead, we're going to be doing other stuff. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily mind drinking a little bit of wine. Nice sweet wine, good old Moscato in the old video, but or with the domestic lager. But I don't eat cheese with beer. That's not really a thing that I do. I mean, unless it's on a cheeseburger or something like that. So I'm glad they did this. So it's a really cool idea. So if this is any good, I mean, that could be something fun to do with, a significant other or whatever, is to play around with, some cheese pairings. So let's do a couple, let's do some slices here. I just sharpened this knife. I'm not sure it's going to stay sharp enough though. Cheese, and soft cheese in particular. One of the good things about Monterey Jack is that, it's nice softer cheese, which means it melts very, very well. So let's put that off to the side for now. And let's just go with this and just see how it is straight across. Oh, interesting. We definitely have habanero flavor here. Heat is really, really low, however. I'll break my plate trying to cut this, I guess. All right. Interesting. So, I think this would be really good with something sweet. I do agree with that. And I wish I had some nice jam or jelly to try that on. But instead, what we're going to try this on is these Yehuda matzos. And so I've never had a matzo. Not matzo ball, anything. Here's what it looks like. It's a big sheet cracker. And the idea was, I saw these on clearance. I'm filming this right around, it's past Passover, but right around that general time. And so anyway, these were on sale, and so I'd always, like, you know, you hear matzo, you hear the word, you don't necessarily know what it means unless you're, you know, part of the Jewish thing, which I'm not. But so I looked it up, and there's only wheat flour and water. That's what they make these out of. And obviously these are rolled through a machine. There's little roller marks. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's no salt on these, no baking soda, no. You know, the idea is that they're unleavened because they were being chased into the. I don't know the story super well. They were being chased into, I think, the sea or something. Might be the Moses story, possibly. Anyway, they didn't have enough time to use yeast and other leavening agents and wait for it to rise and so on. So they basically just water, flour, baked it, and off to the races. But they sort of have almost a deflated saltine aspect to them. These particular ones are just a touch burnt as well. And it's challah bread, selected according to Jewish law. That is something I don't know anything about or claim to know anything about. These might, yeah, these are apparently from Israel, out of Jerusalem. So I guess it's about as authentic as you can get, I guess. You know, a lot of Jewish food that I've had, I haven't liked over the years. I find it super plain for the most part. And also reliant on what I consider like peasant ingredients, like onions and junk like that. Obviously, with my fairly strong disdain for onion, I'm a really bad candidate. This goes really nice together, though. These crackers provide a nice little bit of substance here, and it really is like a nice framework for the sort of, you got some creaminess here with the cheese. Real, like it's probably a default one, real moderate heat. I mean, the cheese is quite good, though. I had habaneros in the setting, well, in other cheese type settings, and so far, this is coming out by far the best. You know, and Tillamook too. Tillamook makes really good stuff. I feel like. So, you know, I mean, we have that. Oh, hey, I actually got a whole one. Neat. This is out of Oregon. Tillamook, Oregon. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. My luck's running out here. You know, when I decided to do some cheeses this year, I should just have. You know what I got? I didn't get a cheese slicer, the wire thing. You know what I bought instead? I bought a knife sharpener. Because I'm like, I've got a million knives. Probably more than I need or will ever use. What if, because I was debating, I'm like, maybe I should just buy, buy a new knife set. But then I'm looking through and I'm like, you know, I've got way more knives than I'm ever going to I probably ever need. I got some in there that are sentimental and whatnot, but rather than, either pitching to the wind or donating them or whatever, and then getting myself a new set, I thought, hey, maybe the thing to do is to just get a knife sharpener that actually works instead of the crappy one I had that only kind of partially sometimes worked. This knife is, the handle's cracked and battered and everything else. This is an old, oh man, this is a set I must have got well over a decade ago at Big Lots. And most of the knife sets that are gone now. They rusted out or whatever, but this one I kind of like. It doesn't hold an edge super well, but anyway, what I expect is going to happen is by the time I convince myself to get a wire cheese thing, I already have shot all the content. Very spicy cheeses I was going to do. Yeah, I'm just going to up and eat this whole block, I guess, here. This is a really good cheese. Monterey Jack, Habanero, pair like a champ. Really, really good. And these matzos are kind of interesting too. They don't add anything. They're one of the most neutral foods I think I've ever had. I mean, it's good and bad. You can taste the wheat flour. You can taste the different sections of the My Artifact, and you can taste when it goes past that into being burnt. Really, really interesting dynamic here to these. And so, I mean, I think most of the time you hear things like matzo ball, which I assume is just basically a cracker ball or that type of flour in a ball form, as opposed to a cracker. I think most of the matzo ball soups I've seen are onion heavy. So I'm out there. And there's different stuff too. I think the shellfish might be a no-no, possibly. I know pork seems to be out. So I think it just doesn't resonate with me, that type of cuisine, super well. But I'm always looking to try new stuff I haven't tried before. I like to experience other cultures through food. It's one of my favorite things to do, and one of the things I think that you can do to sort of increase your quality of life. Okay, so we're gonna do a little something here to the magic of magic. There it is, the cheeseburger. I was curious to see how it melted. I can see it melted very, very nicely, except for a little bit here where I sliced it a tad too thick. You saw my foibles with the old knife trying to cut through the cheese earlier. In amongst that whole cheese wire discussion. But let's give this a taste. Monterey Jack is one of my favorite cheeses for cheeseburgers. Melts great, it's creamy, delicious. It's actually one of my favorite cheeses in general. Be a sandwich or whatever. I think the cheese slicer is almost like a potato masher where it's like something everybody feels like they have to have. Even though they almost hardly ever use it, you know. Because if you're like me, you're buying maybe a shredded cheese, maybe cheese slices. You're not really looking for something like that to make more work. I'm not anyway. So it just sits in the drawer. In the case of the potato masher, I might stop the drawer from opening. Not so much the case with the cheese slicer, certainly, but I remember my mom had this. It was a potato masher that looked almost like a ricer, and it had a circular disc with holes in it, and then so you imagine a metal disc with holes in it, and then two of these thin metal pieces that came up into the handle, and that's what she would use. It wasn't the sort of curly rod type that we see more often. It was one that you damn near had to break trying to actually get to mashed potatoes. Yeah, half the time people just throw the things in the food processor anyway. Back then, lumps were a big deal. Now it's you really only have lumps if you want to. But I never eat mashed potatoes, so I don't keep stuff like that. But nutcrackers might be another one along those lines. All right. Well, anyway, we're down to the end here. This cheese works fantastic on cheeseburgers. It worked fantastic on crackers. This is just a great flavored cheese. It's wonderful. This is probably, to this point, probably the best pepper cheese I've had. And most of the pepper jacks don't really go that hot. There was a ghost pepper jack out there I've been trying to find again. I can't remember who made it. But this one, the habanero with a little bit of jalapeno, really, really phenomenal flavor-wise. Just a truly excellent cheese. It isn't very hot though. So in terms of heat, despite there being actual habaneros in there, this is really only a default one. I don't think it's going to challenge anybody. Flavor-wise, though, it is wonderful. If you like Monterey Jack cheeses in general, and you like pepper jack cheeses in general, if you have this available in your area, absolutely worth a go. Just really, really quite good. And I haven't eaten the entire block on camera, if anyone's wondering. I use the rest on cheeseburgers, so I'm going to have more cheeseburgers later, off camera, just as part of my lunches or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it melts great. This is just a fantastic cheese all the way around, stem to stern. It's a little on the pricey side, but not egregiously so. So yeah, I mean, Tillamook is very reliable as far as I'm concerned when it comes to cheeses. They do just a fantastic job with that. They make other stuff as well. I think they might make yogurts, and their ice cream is okay. I don't think it's one of the better ones, but again, you have peculiar tastes. There's nothing wrong with it. Certainly, there's not a damn thing wrong with their ice cream. Don't think that there is. It's just that my peculiar taste. Yeah, I keep ice cream actually as a tool, as a lever. I don't really eat it for pleasure anymore, but when I do, there's just certain things that I prefer, and Tillamook, veers away from that a little bit. But I mean, a lot of other ones do as well. Ben and Jerry's, another one I don't particularly like. So, but yeah, I mean, definitely Tillamook makes excellent dairy products, and this is yet another one. And we'll just leave it there before I go raging too much further off topic. So that is the Tillamook Spicy Habanero Jack Cheese. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.